Let's chat about life and academia,
What are we going to talk about, Nick?
medical care and doctors.
What about medical care and doctors? I'm letting you lead. You know what we're talking about. Do you want me to do the setup?
Yeah.
Okay. We were driving home from After School Academy and we started talking about what growth Nick has had in dealing with doctors and medical procedures. And I'll let him tell you more about it in a moment. But the procedure he had last night, had it been 3 years ago, would have been a big deal. And last night it was like a non-issue. And we know lots of people whose children have to go through medical things. And so it just occurred to me it might be helpful to hear from Nick for them to see what it is that helped him move the mark from when you were younger till now, right?
Younger to now, yes.
Okay. So when you were younger and you had medical procedures or doctor's appointments, how would you describe how you felt about it?
Nervous or like more cautious?
Oh, like what were you thinking of? Do you remember what made you feel nervous and or cautious?
Like, is it gonna hurt a lot or is it like just quick or anything like that?
Okay, that's fair. I think of those same things.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific examples of things you might have been worried about back then?
Shots or blood draws.
Yes, yes. Oh my goodness, shots were a big deal. How did you get past your fear of shots?
A thinking of one wall.
What's the word?
The wall is strong.
Oh, so in your head when you were getting a shot, you thought about yourself being strong?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's awesome. It's like did you do like a pep talk or something?
It's like having a pep talk with my brain.
Nick, I love that. That's such a great, that's great. Okay, how about with blood draws? Do you remember your first blood draw and what happened during it?
Yeah.
Do you want to share? I don't want to put you on the spot.
Is I had to be distracted a lot is because I was like really cautious, like super cautious, and I didn't know what to do. And I was like, no, no, don't do that, no.
Do you remember that we had reinforcements with us?
Yeah, reinforcements.
Who
Yeah.
did we bring?
Like my aunt,
Do you remember what she did?
like distracting me with like jokes or wrestling.
Oh, she had her phone in there and she showed you WWE
Yeah.
videos,
Yes.
and you guys kicked me out.
Yeah.
It was traumatic for me too because he was so unhappy. Do you remember what you said as we were walking out of the building? You might not. I mean,
I don't remember.
oh, you said,
I'm not doing this ever again.
yeah, his blood was just at not a good level, and so we had to get this blood draw. I mean, we were just trying to investigate why certain things were happening, and part of that exam was a blood draw. Actually, we didn't yet know that he had iron deficiency, so we went to do this blood draw. And I know we're going to have multiple blood draws on the road ahead because we have to figure out what's going on with his body and retest after we adjust. But he does it one time and he walks out and he's like, that's fine. I'm never doing it again. Okay. So then we ended up with USC Keck had a really great doctor who specialized in, blood issues. And I use all the wrong words for medical stuff, so forgive me. But we found the doctor and they had their own lab. And so when we went to the appointment, we didn't know he was going to get a blood draw then. So I didn't have a chance to get nervous or warn him. And this cutie pootie nurse comes out and is like, okay, come back to the lab. We're going to take blood. And I am thinking, oh my gosh, Jeneth isn't with us. I'm not prepared for this. Nick is going to flip out. But what happened, Nick? Remember?
Yeah.
You don't remember? the cutie nurse?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he wanted to show off how tough he was. So she sits him down, and they've got to take, I don't know, 9 vials of blood, and he's sitting there, and I could tell he wasn't very happy to be there, but he puts his arm out, and she starts talking to him. You know, do you have brothers and sisters? Do you have any pets? And before we knew it, it was over. And he's like, okay, I'll do it again, but only if it's with her. So that began, that year, every time we needed a blood draw, we had to go to her. And in fairness, she was adorable and very skilled, and they have different size needles, and he has small veins, so she used the very smallest needle. So it's I think you could barely feel it. I mean, it seriously was in the best hands. And then once we moved from USC, we moved into the UCI Health team, and he's still figuring out. There's nothing serious going on with him that we can't treat. I don't want to violate his HIPAA rights, but we just needed to see a lot of specialists. And we're over there, and we need to get a blood draw again. And by this time, I don't know how many, 10 blood draws in. And there's a gentleman sitting at the desk. I'm all prepared because now it's the first time without our sweet nurse. And I want, what happened there, Nick?
Okay.
What'd you do? Did you say, Mom, I don't want to do it, or I need her to help, or what did you do?
No.
You just like, what'd you tell me?
Out.
Yeah, he wouldn't let me come with him. He just went back, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's crazy. It was so exciting. And so now that you're more of an adult, you were nervous and cautious when you were younger, but how do you view yourself when you go into medical situations now?
Just like this, and I was like, let's go in.
Yes, and so is there a word that you use to describe how you feel about it?
Like really super brave.
Super brave. I think you are super brave. Do you remember what happened with the CAT scans? How you grew?
Yeah.
That was the thing that prompted this discussion. Do you want me to tell the story of the first time? You can tell yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So he had to get a CAT scan because he'd had an endoscopy, he'd had a colonoscopy, but we needed to do this metered CAT scan to see how fluid was going through his body. And my sister had had a lot of them. And she's like, you drink 1 bottle of fluid and it's no big deal. And then, she said, you marinate and then you go get your scan. Well, we get there and they've got these like 4 gigantic bottles. And he's pretty sensitive to texture and taste. And I think, oh my gosh, never. But he powers one, he powers another one, 15-minute intervals. He powers the third one. And then oh my gosh, all over the waiting area. So we had to cancel the test. His body couldn't handle it. And it was just too much. And we ended up going a different route, and we never really figured that part out. So then he did it again about 5 months ago. And this time I'm done. I'm not doing it. Bill is taking him. I'm thinking the boys can handle this. Mom is terrible at this stuff. And you did it, and you went with, and they just had him drink 3 of the bottles. But how did you feel when you were doing that? That one, the second one. You did it, but you were a little dizzy, right?
Yeah, I was a little dizzy, yes.
And so what made us reflect on growth is he went last night. I didn't know they even scheduled things so late, but it was 6:15, so he had to go an hour earlier. And again, because I hadn't gone before, I didn't realize he had to drink 3 big old honking things. And what else did they do?
They also got the IV.
Yeah. So you had intravenous stuff going in through your veins, and then you had to drink 3.
It was the contrast.
The contrast. See, he knows more than I do. This stuff, I'm terrible at it, Nick. You're better than I am now. But anyway, so I'm waiting for the report because we had the terrible time with me and then the time where he was kind of dizzy and unhappy. And how was it yesterday?
Loved it.
You loved it?
Yeah.
What? I did not hear the I love it part. It wasn't a big deal.
there wasn't.
But you don't want to go do it every week. It's not like a favorite. You didn't mean you loved it. It's just nothing negative, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And they put you in the tube and everything?
Yes.
And what did you have to do? Just lay there?
Yeah, just stay there. Yes.
Okay. All right. Goodness. So there has been a real shift from when you were younger to
now.
Yes, I'm so proud of you. That's really, really important if you're going to be taking care of yourself, to not be, feeling all that stress. And I still don't want to do much of it, but I'll do what I have to. So if you were going to give advice to some of our friends in some of our other groups, or people who are facing medical procedures and they're not sure what is going to happen, do you have any advice for them?
Yeah. The advice is don't be nervous, because if you do, that'll be dangerous like that. So don't be nervous. If you do, it's gonna be alright. So don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, because it's going to be all right.
Yeah, it's gonna be alright.
Okay. So if I have to have procedures, you'll be my wingman?
Maybe. But if I do, then yes.
Okay, if you have to?
I have to.
You kill me. So anyway.
You kill me.
Oh my goodness, so sassy. All right. We've had a huge long day because we just co-taught our class, and then we did this. So we're going to have some dinner and watch our show.
Yeah.
All right. So we will be back soon. I think we're going to be, I know what we're going to talk about next time. We're going to talk about the use of language, colorful language versus not colorful language.
Yeah.
Are you going to do what I do?
Yeah.
All right. We will be back soon. Take care.
Thank you.